Hello, it's Polish Paul VR, welcome to my channel and let's do another awesome episode of PSVR SuperShow and talk everything PlayStation VR. Last week there was no show because I've been away in Tenerife drinking and just partying, and what a difference 1 week make. Last week it's been all laughs and smile, this week all Spain and Canary Islands are on lockdown. In those hard times, let's just have some fun, let's just enjoy ourselves, let's just watch something to just entertain us, which is sadly me. But anyway, let's do it, and as always, the first part of the show is the new game announcements. And last week, the only one new game announced was Let's Create Pottery. So in this game you get in your move controllers and you smoothly moving them around to make some kind of vase or some shape, whatever, and then you can customize it whatever you want, whatever you can paint it, whatever colors you want, add some shapes, just anything, because even though the idea of it sounds silly, it's actually quite deep game, there's plenty of customization in it. And also, of course, it's one of those things what would be only possible in VR. I mean, you could try to make game like that on flat, but what fun would that be? At least in VR you've got your motion controllers, you see in your creation and you like, oh yes, I admire that vase I just made. Sorry, my cat being weird. Say hello. You gonna make some pottery? Don't know what he was doing. So yeah, that's the Let's Make Pottery. There is no release date for it yet. I'm assuming month or so and we should see it. It's been already out on PC, released last December, and from what I'm hearing from, not many people bought it, but from the people who bought it, they said, yes, this is a proper pottery real deal. If you are a pottery enthusiast, you might as well enjoy it. Okay, next part of the show is many people's favorite part, which is release date for upcoming PlayStation VR games. We've had quite few of those, so let's just talk about them. Paper Beast coming out on 24th of March. As the developer said in past, it will be with you before end of Q1, and this has happened. So Paper Beast is this game by the creator of Another World, very different kind of game, but also very interesting kind of game. Everything is AI and physics driven. You've got environmental puzzles to solve to go through the game, but also they add in this God mode, which they call in sandbox mode, when you basically can piece about with any environment and you can do whatever you want. Just the world of this game is your playground basically. Very interesting title. I've been keeping my eye out on it for a while. I lately received my review code, so I'll be playing it very shortly, but sadly I'm gonna have to stick to embargo, so I'll not be able to talk much about it. But from what I'm seeing as of now, this game looks great. This might be very good release for this March. So definitely, just like many of you, I'm looking forward to Paper Beast. But apart from that, we've had another release as well as new announcement, which was Good Goliath, and this game will be coming at the 31st of March to all of us PlayStation VR owners. Now, what is the meaning and what is the message? Basically, you are this Goliath and you maybe you are good. But what's happening is there's loads of people, sharks, animals and all sorts of creatures attacking you, and you are like, oh shit, I must defend myself. So you grabbing everything what you've got at your disposal and fighting your enemies. I'm assuming, judging by trailer, there will be some boss fights as well. I really dig the art style of this game, very nice, very colorful and very vibrant. I like how they've put spin on tower defense game in virtual reality. We never had nothing like it. To be honest, apart from Castle Storm VR, tower defense games really never really succeeded that much in VR. Closest to what it gets to this game now is Throw Anything, which wasn't that good, but this one looks tons of fun. And last tower defense game we've had, of course, it was Vigilant Ranger, and that was terrible. looks like very fun little game, so I am looking forward to it. I like those panicky kind of style of gameplay. So yeah, looks fun. And another release date and another new game announcement we've had was Form. Now, it's kind of not new game announcement because I spoke about this game I think back in 2017, I can't even remember, it was that long ago. And kind of everyone forgot about it, even though the developers been saying this game is coming. And now, fast forward 3 years and finally it's here. It's been out on PC for a while, had very good reviews, very interesting title. It is a puzzle game, but it's got this mystic, mysterious, spacey art style. You basically, what's happening is you kind of some sort of scientist doing some sort of experiment and things go to shit and you're like, oh yeah, right, well, that didn't go on well, and then you are teleported to like another space dimension. You're thinking like, oh no, things going from bad to worse, and then you're doing some more experiments and you like doing those, which are your puzzles, and that's how you progressing through the game. Very interesting title, and it's not that far away. But apart from release dates, we've had some release windows as well. Now, listen, those release windows might change and I'm gonna come back to why in a minute. But first of all, let's just talk about them. We're gonna start from Final Assault. Many of you was waiting for this game for a very long time. I've been speaking about this game on this channel for a very long time as well. It's been in the development for a while. Developed by Phaserlock Interactive, gonna be published on PlayStation VR by Smilegate, same people who did this game Focus on You, which many people didn't like, some people liked. It was like dating sim. Final Assault is much bigger game. I'm glad at least Phaserlock found a publisher to do it on PlayStation VR. And in Final Assault you've got your campaign, so you can play by yourself, but also of course you're gonna have your online mode. It's a first-person strategy game, real-time one, something what many people was requesting for a very long time. So it's finally happening, and it will be with you hopefully in April. Another release window we've had was Swords of Gargantua. The name I always gonna struggle to say, but nevertheless this will be coming, they said, this spring. With the announcement they published this new trailer, what plays for you in the background. This is like roguelite game, and in this game you basically leveling up, fighting through the hordes of enemies, going through different levels, I think like 100 of them. And then at the end, if you're powerful enough, you're gonna go and meet Gargantua, the ginormous boss, and you'll be fighting him. I think this game gonna have co-op as well, so that's nice. But if you're not into that roguelite atmosphere, then you can have your proper like story mode when everything is kind of easier. But of course, it's not as rewarding, but you know, at least you've got two different ways to play this game, so that's nice of them. Okay, and now coming back to Saints and Sinners, I was always saying everything is on track, the game will be with you by the end of March. Listen, it still might be, but I've been going by it because trailer been saying Q1, and the developers on Twitter in past been saying that yes, it will be Q1 closer to spring, so end of March seemed like a solid date. Lately, what they saying is gonna be either end of Q1 or beginning of Q2, so it still might come out by the end of March, or it might come out at the beginning of April, so just keep that in mind. But nevertheless, this game is just around the corner, and I know in past there was rumors that there won't be Saints and Sinners no more, because some publications decided to run the story that Skydance stopping making games and they sacked everyone, which was not true. The game is still happening. We know that they've been doing playtesting just around the corner. Give it a couple of weeks, end of March or the beginning of April, and we should have it. But saying that, I said I'm gonna come back to those release windows. As we know, times changed, and what's happening is the world was hammered by coronavirus, and I must say gaming developers and gaming companies was very responsible, and pretty much most of them said to their staff, fuck off, go work from home, be safe, be well. But that means as well that these release windows, they might actually get like longer, bigger, because working from home won't be as effective and productive as working in the office and communicating with people in real life. So nothing is delayed as of now, but keep in mind that future games, even those games, they might hit delays. Not because the developers don't want to do it on time, but of course because of Corona. And also all Sony's staff, they like at homes now as well. Probably all quality assurance staff as well, and your shop staff, everyone. So probably things just going a bit slower than usual, but nevertheless they progressing. But just keep this in mind. Okay, now next part of the show is PSVR the wrap-up, which is basically all the biggest news stories put together and in this nice little segment. And before I start, I know I heard the rumor about Silent Hill, and I know it's coming from very reliable sources, saying that Silent Hill might be back on PS5 with PSVR support. That would be awesome. I'm kind of like 60% belief, 40 not yet, but you know, I'm gonna let it develop, and once I know anything else, I'm gonna let you know. Anyway, let's speak about the biggest news stories regarding PlayStation VR from last week. And we've got to start from E3 2020, an event where many PlayStation VR games got revealed, and an event that many people was looking forward to. To me, E3 kind of lost its very like prestige status. Once they opened to public, they just pretty much become another game show, and it showed because companies started pulling out anyway. But what the organizer said this time, and obviously they've done the right thing, and this is coming back to this coronavirus. Basically, they said, yes, we canceling E3 this year, it won't happen, forget about it. Maybe taking time off for E3 just 1 year, maybe it does them good, maybe the show will never return, nobody knows. But nevertheless, safety for the people is very important. Funnily enough, Gamescom said, fuck it, we still going ahead, which probably gonna change very soon, I'm assuming. But anyway, that's E3 for you. Many companies already spoken, and they said we're gonna go online, and we still gonna do our reveals during that time. So don't worry, whatever you was looking forward for probably will be announced, but just not during that show. Only wise decision it is to do so now. Keep people safe as much as possible. But anyway, that's one of the big stories. Another big story was Iron Man VR demo. We've got a leak, and this leak showed us that Iron Man VR demo coming to the Asian stores. Regarding the US and European stores, I have no idea just yet. As we know, example, Ace Combat 7 VR demo only in Asia, so Iron Man VR demo might not even come to Europe and US. But also, as other demos like your Mosses and all that stuff, it might happen as well, nobody knows. But nevertheless, it's very easy to make Asian account, Hong Kong, Japan, whatever you want, just YouTube it, and it only takes like 10-15 minutes and you're good to go, and then you're gonna get access to that demo. Now, this was only a leak, so basically there is no release date for it yet. But judging by the fact that Iron Man coming out on 15th of May, hopefully, depending of course what's happening at the studio, because they might be working from home now, nobody knows. Their crunch period might not be so crunchy at all, so you know, expect delays, like I said. Not only Iron Man but other games, don't panic though, it still might happen on time. But regarding the demo, I'm assuming at some point in April, maybe middle of April, and we're gonna see it. And I must say, I cannot wait. This game, I wanted to put my hands on it and my head inside it at the end of February, and then of course the developers and Sony crushed everyone's dreams and delayed their game. Obviously delays happened for a reason. They probably want to give us as best experience as possible, so don't worry, it's probably gonna be nice and polished, and let's hope it's still gonna come out on 15th of May. Okay, another next big news story was Panzer Dragoon VR announcement. Now the trailer is from the remake, what you see in here, which is done by completely different studio. I'm just putting it there just, you know, so it's not just black background. Panzer Dragoon VR is done by completely different studio and they didn't announce the platforms yet, but the rumor says it's coming to everything, which is your PC VR and PlayStation VR. I don't know about the Quest though. This studio in past did the game about the dragon and sitting on it and shooting at your enemies, which was called Gunner of the Dragon. Boop, boop. Here we go, playing in the background. So Sega went to this studio and say, okay, make us Panzer Dragoon then, and then we good to go. No release date yet, they saying it's gonna come out before the end of March 2021. But let's wait and see how it's developed. I'm hoping myself that Panzer Dragoon VR will sell super good, and then Sega will see that yes, maybe it's good idea to put our older titles in VR. Shitloads of them, they got such a nice big catalog, from your racing games to your Virtua Cops to your House of the Dead, even Virtua Fighter. If somebody could do good fighting game in VR, that would be great. Tekken, of course, got VR mode, but it's a bit shitty. So, you know, endless possibilities with Sega. They've dipped their toes in VR. They've done them Hatsune Miku's and Sega Mega Drive Classic. I think they've had like free experience somewhere in Japan store as well. But they never really released like proper game made from the ground up in VR for PlayStation VR. You know, one of their classics. And that's what Panzer Dragoon going to be. So let's hope it's just the first step in the many steps that we gonna see of Sega releasing games for VR. Hopefully it's gonna be nice little market niche for them. My best guess is if Panzer Dragoon VR is a good game, it's gonna sell shitloads of copies, because this game was requested to be in VR long time ago. With the announcement, many people got super excited, and can you imagine one day getting announced House of the Dead VR? That would be pretty epic. But anyway, on to the next news story, which is bit of news about Zero Caliber. The developers released another blog and they've been saying what's happening with the game. So not only they reward gun, how they looks like, the models of the guns, but also they reward guns physics. So apparently they're gonna feel like they got proper weight to them. As we know, they said sadly no aim support, they tried and they couldn't do it. Of course they heavy on all this manual reloading, there's some climbing, and it's quite, you know, involved game, so they want you to be immersed. Let's hope it will work well with move controllers. We know sometimes it might not be the case. But also what they said, and that's very encouraging, they said they tested their servers and everything seems to be going smoothly. As we know, the game, when it comes to PlayStation VR, gonna come with player versus player mode. There will be 3 different modes, so that's nice as well. And also with dedicated servers, which they was testing, and it's working great. The game is scheduled to come out in Q2 2020, between beginning of April and end of June, so not that long. Of course, before that they're gonna release ATEC Cybernetic, which is just around the corner. It's nearly out, it should be out this month, hopefully, but they didn't give us release date for that one yet. But nevertheless, very encouraging news about Zero Caliber. Okay, next part of the show is GAMIVERSARY, and in this part we're talking about the games that come out during this time in past years. We're gonna start from Darknet, that come out on 7th of March 2017. This is the only game from the GAMIVERSARY section I never had a chance to play. I never own it. I wanted to buy it this week, just didn't have time at all. But basically what it is, it's a hacking game. You're being put in front of the what is supposed to be internet, and you hacking little dots and then earning money that way. Now, next game is Unearthing Mars. This has come out on 7th of March 2017 as well. Listen, it's been a long time since I play a game which starting so good and ending up being so shitty. Basically, Unearthing Mars is, you can say, like a collection of mini games, maybe some weird ass shit happening. Beginning is very nice, it's looking all good and, you know, very like something big gonna happen. Because you in that spaceship, it's about to crash, you ending up on Mars, and then you being put into your teleportation and click turning, and teleportation is only to like design spots. But also you've got some weird ass sections of the game. It's all like from 12, I think, different chapters. You go into Mars, seeing some creatures, I don't know. The game had a sequel, and in this sequel things got improved because it's been pretty much proper shooter with aim controller support, and second one I really liked, first one I don't like so much. Also in this section I'm trying to tell you about what the studio's getting up to lately, what VR games they developing. This is coming from Winkin Entertainment. Last thing they published was Reborn, Samurai Awakened, absolute shitstorm, and as of now it doesn't look like they're working on anything. And on 6th of March 2018 we've had Rangi. Now, I really like this game, it's got beautiful art style, looks very nice and sharp in headset, but also, listen, it is a port I think of a mobile game, but it translates very nice to PlayStation VR. This is a game of colors, so basically you connecting the lines and then doors opening and you progressing through the game. Quite a long game for a very little price, and for me, when I've been playing it, I was very surprised how cool it is. Really fun game, I love this art style, I love how everything is presented to you, I like the gameplay, you can play with DualShock or moves. Really, I highly recommend this one.
She can keep it, thanks to you.
Efetiv дека ќе бидеме овде вечер.
She apologizes for being somewhat on edge.
Ти благодарам.
Looks like we've averted an international incident.
Здраво. Драги, да,
President's
се
husband.
вративме. Само со
We'll leave
малку
it to it.
задно цнување. Но такви се пътищата во Солван. За тебе субрак беше.
And on 7th of March 2018 we've had Bravo team coming from Supermassive Games. Of course, Supermassive Games developed brilliant Rush of Blood, and it was amazing game, and after that they went to publish Impatient, which wasn't that good, and then Bravo team, which wasn't that good as well. When its first release, it had many issues, especially those scaling everything being giant. They worked on it, they, fixed few things, but the game still isn't that good. But if you like to play co-op games and you like aim controller shooters, then you can play with your buddy. Definitely when it's launched it was way too expensive for what you was getting. Also very overhyped game. Didn't live to the expectations at all, but sold very well at least. And I know there is few fans of this game here and there who enjoy playing it. For me it's just boredom. You go in, you're being presented with stages and you just pointlessly shooting tons and tons of enemies. I don't know where they appearing from. Very weird game.
Right, good. We need to get you off that bridge. I have airborne. Scarecrow, Tinder, assume all Mordaean military contacts are hostile. This is now a combat situation. Weapons hot. I repeat, weapons hot. Use those abandoned cars and anything else you can find for cover. You're gonna get out of there, okay?
Pride and guns. Let's take a look at these core values in action as a father bonds with his child.
Hey, sport, let's play catch.
And on 14th of March 2018 we've had possibly one of the strangest PlayStation VR game, which is American Dream. This is supposed to be satire about US and their gun laws and how, people treating guns and shit like that. Fun game, I've enjoyed it. I know not many people liked it because how much narration it is. You have to be prepared to listen to a lot of dialogue. It's starting on strange and then it's getting even stranger toward the end, but nevertheless, I've had fun.
Fans!
Did you hear the joke about the baseball? It won't.
And on 7th of March 2019 we've had Summer Funland. Plays for you in the background. We're still waiting for the update. The update apparently is coming. It's gonna be a sports island. Summer Funland is a game when you're being presented with your own virtual reality theme parks. You've got plenty of little mini games what you can play, what you see on your normal amusements. But also you've got rides, roller coaster, not so good. My favorite, this underwater ride, amazing. I really liked it. It's had such a big scale, big area the game was taking you through, but also all those non-interactive rides, they pretty cool in this game. So we're just waiting for this update, what they promised. But also, like I said, I told you what the studio's getting up to, and this studio still working on Blunt Force. Blunt Force wasn't cancelled, it's still happening. The trailer what you're seeing is cinematic trailer, so we don't know how it's gonna look like. It's not your proper first-person shooter, you visiting areas in the past, before war I think, and then during the war, or after the war I mean, it's like all mixed up together. So it's got a bit of adventure game. I think there is a bit of shooting as well, but there is no release date yet. Nevertheless, rest assured the game is still coming and the developers still working on it. And on 8th of March 2019 we've had Vertigo Home. Now, this is another of the strange games. All you need to control it is your head. You tilt in your head to move around the stages, shitloads of them. You have to avoid obstacles, the things are getting crazier, faster, there's more obstacles to avoid. Things look like it's just rolls of random places placed in tunnels and you just have to avoid them, and that's pretty much what is core of this gameplay. You can stand up if you want to feel like surfing. The game is not too expensive for what it is, but also I don't know how long gameplay you're gonna get out of it. I've been playing it last year and then eventually I was like, I actually can't be bothered anymore to just tilt my head and avoid obstacles because the gameplay never really changes that much. And on 12th of March 2019 we've had the Wizards. Now this is a very fun game. Many people mistaken it for RPG game because that's kind of how it was marketed. To me it plays more like Sonic Adventure, which is your more arcadey kind of game. You're doing those spells, you can throw them, it's all gesture based, and you know, it looks pretty cool. Also for the price you've got a lot of options, so you can have teleportation, smooth locomotion, smooth turning, quick turning, whatever you want. Graphically looks very nice and gameplay is tight as well. Just keep in mind it's not RPG, it's your just proper arcade game. And coming to this studio as well, what they're working on now is the Wizards Dark Times, and in Dark Times they saying it's like standalone expansion to the game. It looks like you're gonna visit same areas as in first game, but they're gonna be in like darker times because some bad stuff happened. Regarding the platform, so far is confirmed for PC. Rumors saying it's coming to PSVR, but this is just the rumor. It's nothing like officially they didn't said actually what platforms. We just know it's PC. PSVR probably will come eventually depending on how successful the first Wizards was. But nevertheless the studio developing another VR game. Okay, and that leads us to the power rankings, which is today top 5 rumored PlayStation VR games. And we're gonna start from number 5. Game that everyone wants, Blade and Sorcery. Will it happen or will it not? In these rumored games, I'm kind of going by the rumors that actually indicating that it might happen. What the developers saying is, once they released 1.0 version on Steam in this December 2020, then they're gonna start working on ports for PlayStation VR and Quest, but they only gonna port it if it's technically possible, so they're not actually saying yes or not yet, but they're indicating they're willing to work on the game. At number 4, we've got the little game which is Gran Turismo Sport and everyone loves, but what the rumors saying is that when the PlayStation 5 drops, the game might get full VR support. Even the developers was kind of like hinting at it. Listen, if Gran Turismo Sport gonna get full VR support, we're gonna get best, biggest and baddest virtual reality racing game ever made. So let's hope when PS5 drops it will allow it. As we know, there was footage in past from PlayStation 4 Pro when you could raise other AI opponents and stuff like that, and it's appeared that the full game is in VR. But what's happening is, due to the PlayStation 4 original limitations, they can only do limited VR mode because, of course, Sony got this parity policy. PS4 games needs to be as same as PS4 Pro when it comes to your gameplay experience, but of course PS4 Pro can look better graphically. At number 3 we've got Moss Book 2. The developers already spoke about it. They said, you know, what they're gonna work on in the future. They said Moss Book 2 is a possibility. So it seems like it's gonna happen. When, I don't know. They recently released Moss on Quest and also added this DLC for free for everyone, which was awesome. So everything indicates that Polyarc might be actually releasing another game, which is Moss Book 2, or maybe another game in the Moss universe, I don't know. But from past interviews, like from a couple of years ago now, they've been saying like, yes, this is something what we're planning on doing. And next one is upcoming game from Impulse Gear. Now, this studio, as we know, is developed the Farpoint, which is absolutely fantastic. But also they said already in past, and they've had actually jobs offering at their studio, that they working at upcoming AAA virtual reality game, and they said they're gonna define what it is, meaning and the message of AAA game in VR. So they working on something big. Judging how long ago Farpoint come out, they well now like proper deep in the development. So whatever they announce, whenever it will come, it's probably gonna be something huge. We know it's gonna be PlayStation VR game, and also everything indicates that probably it's gonna be running on PlayStation 5, and this is another indication that PlayStation 5 might be game changer when it comes to VR games. And of course at number 1, Resident Evil 8, plenty of rumors, plenty of leaks. We don't know how many of those are true or not. But apparently the studio working on another game, on the 8th entry in the series. There is not that much mention about VR. They say it's gonna be first person and everything. I'm just thinking Sony, with the success they've had with Resident Evil 7, maybe they're gonna be willing to pay again. The game is rumored, nothing confirmed, as most of, well, kind of like this list is kind of like 50% rumored, 50% confirmed. So, you know, most of them game probably gonna happen. Resident Evil, I don't know, I do hope so. Okay, and of course, before I end the show, big shout out to the Patreon supporters / the producers of the show. I really appreciate all your support. You all really helped a lot, and I do thank you very muchly. If you want to support me on the Patreon, go to PolishPolVR on Patreon, and then you can start from just $1. Okay, if you like what you're seeing, then please press a like, because it does help the channel a lot. And if you're new to the channel and are not subscribed, then subscribe. It's always better when it's more of us. And that's it, bye.